Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we are digging into a name that pops up a lot, especially in the energy transition space, NexGen Energy. And the big question, the one many of you asked about when sending in materials, is pretty straightforward. Is NexGen Energy a good buy right now? Got a good stack of sources here looking at their recent financials, upcoming catalysts, and just the general market vibe around this major uranium developer.
Yeah, and our goal today is really to cut through the noise. We're going to break down, the fundamentals of this company, which importantly is pre-revenue. We'll look at the huge capital moves they just made, what analysts are thinking, and critically, where the risks actually are. So by the end of this, you should have a much clearer picture of what's going on with NexGen Energy.
Absolutely. And hey, before we dive in, just a quick reminder, if you find this useful, please hit subscribe, give us a like, maybe drop a comment. And definitely, if there's a specific company you want us to look into, let us know in the comments below. Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics because this really frames everything else, the risk and the potential reward here. NexGen Energy isn't mining and selling uranium yet. They're an exploration and development company, totally focused on getting one huge project, Rook-I, up and running. So simply put, they're still spending millions digging the hole, not making money from what's in it yet.
That's the crucial distinction, It means your standard valuation tools, well, they don't really apply in the same way. If you look at the core numbers, their trailing 12-month net income, it's a loss. A big one, actually, around $142 million. EPS is negative $0.25. So no PE ratio to look at. Their entire future earnings power depends on two big things happening. Continued strong demand for uranium globally, and them successfully building out that Rook-I project on schedule.
Right, $142 million loss. That sounds pretty daunting, especially if you're new to resource stocks. How does a company like that end up with a, $4.7 billion market cap?
It boils down to the asset itself. They've got a massive competitive advantage located in Canada's Athabasca Basin in Saskatchewan. That region is world famous for having the highest grade uranium deposits anywhere. And NexGen owns 100% of Rook-I, which is honestly one of the largest, richest undeveloped uranium resources on the planet. That quality and scale potential gives them a huge strategic edge.
So the market isn't really valuing today's company, is it? It's valuing what it could become if they pull this off.
Exactly. That potential is what's baked into that $4.7 billion market cap. And that figure reflects a pretty significant jump, about 23.6% year over year as of October 2025. It's all anticipation right now.
And you see that speculation in how the stock trades, too. The sources mention a high beta, 1.74. For listeners thinking about risk, what does that number really mean in practical terms?
It basically means the stock is like an amplifier for market movements. It's very sensitive to the overall market and especially to news in the uranium sector. So if the broader market moves up 1%, NexGen has tended to move up about 1.74%. That gives you incredible leverage in a bull market. But the flip side is, if the market drops, you feel that downside amplified, almost doubled. It's definitely not a sleep well at night kind of stock for stability seekers. It's high octane.
Okay, right. Let's unpack the recent action then. Because the last few months have been really, really busy for them financially. For a company not making money, they've just put together this huge war chest. What really stood out between, say, August and October?
Yeah, the activity really signals a shift, I think. They're moving from planning to actually building. We saw sort of three key things. First, back in August, there was some insider selling. A director, Richard Patricio, sold about 125,000 shares. That cut his holding by nearly 9%.
Insider selling always gets attention, doesn't it? Makes people wonder. Is that a big red flag here?
Well, it certainly caused a bit of short-term noise. With a speculative stock like this, any insider selling makes the market jumpy. People immediately ask, do they know something bad that we don't? Even if it's just for personal reasons like taxes or planning, that perception matters. But honestly, that sale was completely overshadowed by what came next, because in September, they reported having a very strong cash position, about $434.6 million. And that was even after spending over $28 million in the first quarter, just pushing the Rook-I project forward. So they were already looking well-funded for the near term.
But then October happened, and wow, things really shifted gear financially.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting and I think changes the immediate investment story. In October 2025, NexGen pulled off this frankly massive funding round. They did dual market equity financings. Altogether, they closed on $1.35 billion. That's huge. It involved a global offering and a separate bought deal here in Canada. I mean, raising that kind of cash as a developer is almost unheard of.
So the obvious takeaway is, okay, they have the money now, but thinking bigger picture, connecting the dots. how does securing that much money change the investment focus going forward?
It totally shifts the focus. That $1.35 billion isn't just padding. It fundamentally moves the main question away from financial survival towards execution and speed. Before this, a big risk was, can they actually afford to build this massive world-class mine? Now the main risk becomes, how well and how quickly can management actually spend this $1.35 billion to get all the permits and get this thing built? The question changes from solvency to efficiency and delivery.
That's a really critical point for anyone watching this stock. Management basically just bought themselves the time and resources they need. So now the market's going to judge them almost purely on hitting milestones.
Right. So let's talk about why the market is still so positive. Despite, the losses so far and the risks that always come with building a mine, it really comes down to belief in the asset and the whole uranium story.
And the analysts looking at the reports, they seem completely convinced.
Oh, unanimously. All 5 of the Wall Street analysts we track rate NexGen Energy either a buy or a strong buy. There's zero skepticism there, officially at least. They're clearly buying into the long-term structural bull case for uranium. The thinking is the price has to go higher to meet future nuclear power demand, and NexGen is perfectly positioned to be a major supplier when that happens. And if you look at their price targets, the average forecast for the next 12 months is $15.16. From where the stock was in late October, around $11.51. That implies something like 31.7% upside potential. The highest target out there is even $20. So there's a lot of confidence in near-term appreciation.
Okay, 5 strong buys on a pre-revenue company is definitely unusual. But doesn't that kind of extreme consensus sometimes make you pause, like that maybe it's too optimistic, almost a contrarian signal?
That's a fair question. You always have to watch out for excessive hype. But the technical charts seem to back up the bullish story, suggesting it's not just talk. Looking at the stocks movement, there's a clear established uptrend. The price is trading well above both its 50-day average, which is around $8.09, and more importantly, the 200-day average at $6.51. Staying above that 200-day line usually indicates sustained buying, often from larger institutions. And another thing, the relative strength index, the RSI, it's sitting around 44.92. That's pretty neutral, which is actually good news for bulls because it suggests the stock isn't wildly overbought right now. There's potentially room for it to run higher before it looks technically stretched.
Okay, so the technicals look supportive, the funding is locked down, the asset's top tier. Let's look ahead now, say over the next 3 months or so. What are the specific scheduled things coming up that could move the needle for the stock?
Yeah, there are a few key dates to watch. First up is their Q3 earnings report. That's expected in early November 2025. Now, obviously, no one's looking for revenue, but investors will be laser-focused on how management talks about deploying that new $1.35 billion. Are they signaling faster permitting? Ramping up engineering work? Any detail on spending plans will be scrutinized. Then, around mid-November, November 15th, there's a major rebalancing scheduled for some big uranium ETFs. This matters because funds like URA or UNM, they have to buy or sell based on their index rules. Given NexGen's increased market cap and financial muscle, its weighting in these ETFs will likely go up. That forces those funds to buy more shares, which can create significant demand and trading volume.
Right, forced buying. And then looking a bit further out into the new year.
Yeah, January 8th, 2026. That's when we expect the next round of institutional holdings data to come out. That'll show us if the big players, the pension funds, mutual funds, kept adding to their positions after that massive financing deal closed. It's a key sentiment check.
Okay, so those are the known dates. But beyond the official reports, there's always chatter, right? Especially after a company makes a huge move like raising over $1 billion. What kind of rumors or speculation are floating around?
Well, the biggest one is definitely about acceleration. There's a lot of buzz that management might use this cash influx to try and fast-track the Rook-I development timeline, try to get into production sooner given the strong uranium price. There are also these persistent whispers about a potential strategic partnership or maybe a joint venture. People are wondering if that huge capital raise was maybe groundwork for bringing in a major global energy company or a big miner to share the cost and risk of development. That would be a huge validation.
Makes sense. And politics always plays a role in mining.
Absolutely. So there's always hope or maybe expectation of favorable policy shifts. Things like faster permitting processes in Canada or maybe supportive nuclear policies globally that could help speed things up or just reduce red tape. Any positive news on that front could boost the stock. But, connecting this all back, it really just underlines the main risk profile now. Even with all these potential catalysts and a mountain of cash, it still comes down to execution. If there are unexpected delays in getting permits or problems in deploying that capital effectively, the downside could be significant precisely because there's still pre-revenue. Hashtag outro.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up for you. NexGen Energy.
Hmm.
They hold a truly world-class uranium asset in a great location. They're benefiting from a strong uranium market outlook. They just secured an enormous amount of funding, which really shifts the focus from can they afford it to can they build it efficiently. Analysts are unanimously bullish, and there are several potential catalysts coming up soon. But it absolutely remains a development stage company, which carries inherent execution risks. High risk, potentially very high reward.
I think that sums it up well. The stock looks interesting on a couple of levels right now. For shorter-term traders, you've got these upcoming catalysts, the earnings call detail, the ETF buying that could create opportunities. And for patient, long-term investors who believe in the whole nuclear energy, uranium demand story for the next decade, well, NexGen is positioned right at the heart of that thesis. It offers pretty direct exposure.
So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. With that $1.35 billion now sitting in the bank, the question isn't really if NexGen can afford to build the Rookeye mine anymore. The real question is how quickly and how effectively management can now use that capital to navigate the permitting process and actually start moving dirt, accelerating that transition, becoming a producer. How they answer that question through their actions in the coming quarters, that's likely going to be the biggest driver of their valuation and tell us if they can truly deliver on all that massive potential. Thank you for joining us for this analysis. We hope this breakdown helps you understand the current picture for NexGen Energy a little better.